Welcome to a course overview of IS 8005 Informatics. The learning outcomes for the overview include: we will review the syllabus. I ask that you open the syllabus and look through it as we go over the overview. I will include excerpts from the syllabus in the slideshow, but it would help if you had access to the syllabus as well. We will discuss course expectations. I will go through the grading for the course, the assignments, the weighting. We will talk about general classroom policies. I will also describe institutional policies and resources that you may choose to access. Let's start with some course particulars. This is Kennesaw State University. Our department is located in the Michael J. Coles College of Business. The course is offered from the Department of Information Systems. The course name and number IS 8005 Section 1 Informatics. This course is offered in summer 2016 and it is completely online. The syllabus that you have in front of you, I hope, is a general guideline for what you're expected to do in this course. It also provides you with organizational information, contact information, and so forth. It is a general plan for the course. It's not a contract. It may change as situations change. So please do check the latest update of the syllabus each time you go into the course. My name is Dr. Amy Wozinski. My last name is very difficult to pronounce and is entirely my husband's fault. Most students call me Dr. Amy. That is fine with me. You may call me most anything, as long as it's nice. I don't mind if you call me Amy, whatever you find comfortable. My office is in Burris 495. My email address is listed here. Email sent directly to my kennesaw.edu address is the quickest way to reach me. I do check that at all hours and 24/7. I may not get back to you until a business day has passed, but that is the fastest way to reach me. Here is my office phone. I rarely am sitting in my office, but if you leave a message, I will return your call as soon as I can. My office hours for this online course will all be virtual and by appointment only. You see here additional contact information that you may certainly use to get in touch with me. We can Google or Skype, or we can FaceTime. We can use the chat feature in D2L. I'm happy to be accessible to you and help you answer your questions. The course website is Kennesaw State University's D2L website, which is d2l.kennesaw.edu. You log in with your NetID and password. If you have a question about an assignment, please post it to the questions or Q&A discussion board instead of sending me an email message. If you do send me an email message, I am likely to post your question on that discussion board or as a news item so that I can make sure that all students have access to all questions that may be asked. As I mentioned, if you need to email me and reach me quickly, please email me at awozy@kennesaw.edu. As you probably know, D2L will not allow me to respond directly, so I have an extra step and need to go into D2L prior to responding to you. That means a slightly longer time for me to respond to you. The textbook for this course is the APA Guide, the 6th edition. Fortunately, it is not an expensive textbook, costing under $50 for the softcover version. If you prefer an ebook or Kindle or any other edition, or prefer to rent it, is perfectly acceptable. International versions of the textbook, however, are not the same. Please do not purchase those. The textbook will be used in this course. You will be expected to follow APA guidelines. And while online guides are helpful, the APA Guide is your best resource. You will use the APA Guide in your other MSIS courses, so it's one you will continue to use as you complete your degree. There will be other resources as well that will be used to support the learning outcomes of the course. There are many videos as well as external articles and resources. Those will be made available on the D2L website. If we look at the general course description, it does focus on how to conduct and present business research to both technical and non-technical audiences. Issues we will cover: we will look at statistical techniques that help manage information in the organization. We will also look at how we turn data into information and how data becomes big data. In this course, you will have the opportunity to improve upon your writing and communication skills for both technical and non-technical audiences. This is a 3-semester-hour course. This course is the first one that is taken by students in the MSIS program. If you happen to be in the MBA plus MSIS dual degree, you are taking this, hopefully, at least early on in your IS coursework. It does provide an introduction to research methods in IS. It allows you to understand how to use scholarly and non-scholarly resources when you are conducting research. You will use a variety of basic productivity tools to communicate your findings. You will be able to read and interpret statistical results. If you took statistics many years ago and forgot everything you learned, we will review statistics prior to completing this activity, so don't be too worried. When you complete the course, as I mentioned a few times, you will be able to communicate with both technical and non-technical audiences in a variety of methods. The prerequisite for this course is full admission to the MSIS or MBA plus MSIS program, or permission of the graduate program director. The objective is to advance student knowledge and your ability to conduct technical research and present it in a variety of methods to both technical and non-technical audiences. The learning outcomes for this course include: analyze, interpret, and communicate information technology, data, and information in a professional, clear, and concise manner to technical and non-technical audiences. You will have the opportunity to complete multiple assignments that allow you to demonstrate your communication abilities. You will have the opportunity to learn about and understand how to design and execute research studies. You will not design and execute your own research study in this course, but you will learn the research process. You will be able to author and present technical and non-technical documents using appropriate, in this case, productivity software. You will be able to develop and evaluate professional presentations on topics related to the field of information systems. You will be able to explain how to collect and analyze data for a real-world project, although you do not have to complete and analyze data for the research paper that you complete. Finally, you will understand advanced statistical methods presented in business and IT research and be able to communicate those to non-technical as well as technical audiences. Now we turn to grading and assignments. Please keep in mind that you will perform about 12 hours of preparation or homework per module. That may vary greatly depending on how you approach the module, your underlying skills and interests, and your background in the area. Make sure this is a realistic time commitment, especially during the summer. You will complete 2 weeks of a normal semester in 1 week of a summer semester. Please submit your assignment according to the rubrics and in APA format unless otherwise specified. Also, submit them in either a Word or .doc or .docx or .pdf format. The due dates and times for each of your assignments are listed in D2L. The assignment is due in D2L. Please do not email it to me. I will not accept it. Late assignments are not accepted. You have an entire semester available to you, so please plan accordingly, particularly if you have a time period that is going to be difficult for you to balance work and family. If you have questions about your grades, ask me about them immediately. Don't wait until the end of the semester to ask me about an assignment that was completed much earlier. As mentioned, unless otherwise instructed, you should use APA format. You may not work in partnership except in the limited instances where it is specifically and explicitly allowed. You should submit your own work. All assignments in this class are individual work. If you submit work that is not your own, then you will receive, at a minimum, a grade of 0 on the assignment and possible student conduct and academic integrity discipline at the university level. This is described in the academic integrity section of the syllabus and in the KSU graduate catalog. Here you can see assignments and weighting for this class. You will have several online activities or posts, as well as an APA quiz. You will also have 6 assignments, one of which has 2 parts as you see, assignments 5A and 5B. You will need to do a Prezi introduction presentation. You will complete an annotated bibliography. You will complete a white paper and the statistics activity and an oral presentation and a research paper. You will also evaluate other students' PowerPoint presentations. It's fine to use the same topic for all assignments in this class. In fact, I encourage you to do so. That way you can streamline your activities and work toward your final product, the research paper. The research paper is the final exam for the course. There are grading rubrics and other details available for all assignments in D2L. The grading scale is shown here, and as you would normally expect to see it. As soon as I have final grades, I will post them in AliExpress for you to review. Emailing me to see if I've completed final grades will only delay me from completing final grades. I promise that I will post them as soon as they are available. There are specific grading guidelines available in D2L for all assignments. I will use the rubrics and grading guidelines, so please review them carefully. I will return grades to you within 1 to 2 weeks. If I have to deviate from the schedule for some reason, I will inform you. For larger assignments, sometimes it may take me longer than 1 to 2 weeks to fully give you the time you deserve for the effort you put into the assignment. All class information, including lecture notes, announcements, assignment guidelines, grading rubrics, and anything else like websites, videos, lectures, etc., are available on D2L. That website will be regularly updated throughout the semester. Our course is divided into 6 modules. Within each module, you will find 4 different sections: the learning outcomes for that module, the assignments due for that module, and the instructor developed and external resources available for that module. I do expect you to go through all of these resources, assignments, and learning outcomes for each module. If it's in D2L, you should review it. There are due dates for the assignments and activities and discussion board posts and quizzes within each module. They will be posted on the syllabus and in D2L. Looking at each module, Module 1 provides a course introduction as well as goes into applied and basic research. You are doing part of Module 1 right now because we're introducing the course. Module 2 looks at data collection and big data. Module 3 covers the research process. Module 4 looks at research design and statistical analysis. When we move to Module 5, we discuss the content and organization of a manuscript, which helps prepare you for your final research paper. Module 5 also looks at APA formatting and its relevance to the presentations that you make in this class, both oral and written. Module 6 specifically looks at making effective business IS presentations for both technical and non-technical audiences. This is an area where IT professionals tend to lack ability. If you are an IT/IS professional and you can effectively present business ideas to others outside of IT, you can rule the world. You will have a set of skills that will be unusual. At the end of Module 6, you will be prepared to complete your research paper. Special dates. The first day of classes is June 1st. The last day to withdraw without academic penalty is June 27th. There will be no assignments due on July 4th, which is a holiday. The last day of class is July 22nd. The final exam for this course will be due on July 25th. Graduation is July 28th. And grades are due July 30th at 5 p.m. My grades will be posted by that date. The research paper is the largest assignment you do in this class and is due near the end of the semester. Therefore, it is likely that grades will not be posted much before the due date. Again, when they are available, I will post them. A few notes. If you do need special assistance or accommodations, please email me or contact me and let me know, ideally when the semester starts or even prior to the beginning of the semester. If the university decides to change dates for whatever reason, we will follow the modified dates. You may view the department website at the following. You do have access to the computer labs if needed. You also have access to the library. You can find more information on both of those resources on KSU's websites and links provided there. Now let's turn to classroom policies. This is an online course. It is completely online. There are no in-class meetings. You will complete your activities asynchronously outside of class. Asynchronous simply means you complete it whenever you like, as long as it's submitted by the due date. We will not be meeting online at a particular time. You do not have to put aside a certain day or time to meet online with a class, but you must meet all due dates, so please plan accordingly. As I already mentioned, we don't meet in class at all. Now let's turn to the diversity statement, and this is from Kennesaw's website. I only took excerpts, and it's still very long. I will preface it by saying I will not discriminate based on anything about you. It doesn't matter to me. I'm going to look at your work product and your work product only. Now, if you happen to be a UGA graduate, or even worse, a UGA fan, I'll have to think about that. I'm a big Georgia Tech fan. Of course, I'm just kidding about singling out UGA fans and graduates. Now let's look at the diversity statement. As part of KSU, I will not discriminate on the basis of race, color, religion, age, sex, national origin, disability, sexual orientation, veteran status, or anything else you can think of. Along with Kennesaw State, I hope that we're able to stimulate intellectual discussion and have a classroom where we support respect for all and allow each person to express their opinions, and then we respond in a constructive and thoughtful manner. It does not mean we will never disagree, because I'm sure we will. We just do it in a constructive, thoughtful, professional manner. As I mentioned, we are committed to diversity of intellectual viewpoints. I think the classroom is stronger when we have people with all sorts of different backgrounds, different ages, different undergraduate majors, different work and professional experiences living in multiple countries. All of that contributes to much richer, fuller classroom discussion, and I strongly support it. In fact, my research looks at culture and gender and diversity issues in the IT workforce, So I'm strongly committed to these statements. As I mentioned, I believe education is improved and enhanced by the different backgrounds that we each bring to the class. And I do appreciate and welcome, and I want you to give me your viewpoints, opinions. Within the context of your background, it gives me a different perspective and I learn from it. I want your voice to be heard in this class. Please participate and actively discuss. Actively participate. Get your money's worth. Don't accept what I say or what another student says until you reflect upon it. Just because we say it doesn't make it true. If you have a differing perspective, bring it forward and let's talk about it. Do be positive and do be constructive, but it's more fun and it's a better learning experience if we have different viewpoints brought forward. Email messages will receive a response from me within 2 business days. Holidays and weekends are not business days. However, I respond to email messages very quickly. If it's a message where I have to do some research or some digging, those things may take a little longer. But if there's something that requires a prompt response, or you simply ask a question and need an answer, you'll get a response from me within 2 business days. If you don't, email me again because perhaps I have overlooked or deleted your message by mistake, or it has gone into my spam folder. Similarly, I expect you to respond to my email messages within 2 business days. I do assume that you have minimum competencies in basic productivity software. If you don't, for instance, if you don't have experience with PowerPoint, you can get it. You may take a class offered free through ITS, especially if you sign up early. If it's free, what does that mean? It means you've already paid for it. But you may either take a class or learn on your own, whichever option you prefer. You must access D2L for updates. You must look for your grades there, as well as news announcements, Q&A postings, etc. Check D2L. Check it at least every other day, and preferably every day. I do expect that you will read and review all material in the course by the date that is specified. I'm going to make that assumption and move on. You must keep up, especially in an 8-week course. You cannot get behind. That means you need to open every learning module and review every link provided there. We will be meeting all online, as I already mentioned. Since it's all online, you do need to be respectful of others and professionally responsible in your postings. Most of our communication, about 90% of it, is nonverbal. In the online environment, you lose that. Keep that in mind. It's fine to disagree. In fact, I encourage you to, but remain professional and cordial and constructive. Everything you say is permanent, even if you delete it, and people will often take it literally. Remember, we have people of different cultural backgrounds, so be clear in what you mean. If you mean something to be funny, make sure the recipient knows that. Please do use correct English and avoid acronyms if possible, unless you know everyone knows what the acronym is. ITIS, we should know that in this class. I do have a few additional professional guidelines that you should review prior to communicating electronically. Be very clear on what you mean. If it's an email message, make sure that what you intend to say is what you say. Use appropriate language. If you are upset, don't send the message to me or to anyone. We have likely all been in this situation. Someone emails you and it irritates you, makes you mad. It may help to immediately type a response to vent your anger. Then you may want to let the message sit for a few hours or a day prior to responding. If you're upset, don't respond until you've had a chance to calm down. I can't see your nonverbal expressions. That is 90% of your communications and is lost in an online environment. Keep that in mind. Please avoid all capital letters. Unless you're doing it for emphasis, it looks like you're yelling at people. Avoid it. Keep it short. You want to address whatever issue you intended to address or answer whatever question was provided to you, but stay short. Be succinct but complete. Finally, what you post is representative of you. Make a good impression. Do not forward email messages you have received unless you receive explicit permission from the person who sent it. There is no need to share everything with everyone. Be selective and only share as is appropriate. You are not anonymous. If you think you are, ask the people who are a member of Ashley Madison. If you're unfamiliar with that scandal, I encourage you to Google it. Consider the mood of others when they post a statement. Sometimes we make more mistakes. We have spelling mistakes. We say things that simply aren't that intelligent. However, if you believe that something violates the law or presents a danger to someone, don't delay. Forward it to someone in authority. Do not send me or others spam. I don't want to buy your products, whatever they might be, and I won't try to sell you my products. If someone blames you or takes off on you on a website, take time to respond in a thoughtful and constructive and intelligent manner, even if they're disrespectful. You want to present a good face, even if they didn't. A few other guidelines on network etiquette, and these guidelines are from the Albion.com website listed at the bottom. Be sensitive to others, as I said. There's the all caps reminder, don't do it. Don't flame, wait a day or two. Think before you do something. Don't use language that may offend, and if you're unsure, don't use it. Be clear in your subject. There's the recommendation not to use acronyms. Everyone doesn't know all of your abbreviations. Be forgiving of others who may not have thought through their post prior to posting it for all to see. And stay collegial, professional, constructive, thoughtful, and intelligent, even when others do not. You will complete several discussion board activities for this class, as shown in D2L. The first discussion board you're going to do is the Intro Bio discussion board. Especially in an online class, I want to get to know you. I will post a short introduction. I will also post an introduction video and a Prezi introduction with voice. As mentioned before, use the Q&A discussion board if you have a question. Others probably have the same question. And if you happen to know the answer to a question someone has posted, please go ahead and respond. There are two parts that you need to do to introduce yourself. First, you're going to post an introduction on the discussion board. And here you'll include things like where you got your degree, where you've worked in the past, what goals you have personally and professionally, hobbies, interests, anything that you'd like to share with the class. Share a picture if you like. It doesn't have to be a picture of you. It may be a family photo, a picture of your dog, of your favorite sports team, of your children, whatever you'd like to share so we can get to know you a little better. You also will need to prepare a Prezi introduction. If you haven't used it yet, I think you will find it helpful. I definitely found it helpful when I learned how to use it. It's a free tool. All you have to do is sign up for an educational license and you have it for free. It's a very effective tool. I use Prezi to present at an advisory board meeting to discuss the MSIS program. I spent a lot of time preparing the presentation and I must say it looked good. At the end I zoomed out and you could see that all of the presentation had been located on an iPad, but you didn't see that until the end. As I sat down, probably 6 board members stopped me on the way and said that was a great presentation. The person who presented after me got up, and the first thing he said was, "I should know not to go after someone from IS." He then presented a PowerPoint presentation. There was nothing wrong with it, but it was not as good as the Prezi presentation I made and detracted from people's ability to pay attention. In fact, people were still whispering questions to me while he was presenting. Please don't do that. That's unprofessional, but it happens. You don't have to add voice to your Prezi. I have added some voice to mine. You don't have to do that. You can look at my Prezi introduction for an example. A link is available within the syllabus and on the website on the D2L site. You do not have to do one as complex as mine. Now we'll move to some institutional policies and resources. A very important one is academic integrity. In fact, we will have a presentation on academic integrity, a video, later in the semester that will describe how you avoid academic integrity issues. You should read the Student Code of Conduct, which is a little long, but it's in the graduate catalog, and it's linked to the KSU Codes of Conduct, which is the most updated version of the code. The Code of Conduct includes the following: that we are a community and we're expected to uphold and abide by the standards of conduct set by our community. These standards include a code of academic integrity. The core values and honor code pledge include that you agree not to violate academic integrity principles. You accept this pledge simply by enrolling at KSU and by registering for courses. Academic misconduct is obviously opposed to any academic mission. Therefore, if you violate this code, this is considered very bad, an extremely serious infraction. If you appeal and lose, if it's a flagrant violation, or if it's your second offense, you have a minimum penalty of 1 semester suspension. Don't do it. It's not worth it. If it's your first offense and you do take responsibility, you may be allowed to select an informal resolution with your instructor instead of a formal hearing. That agreement may cause you to fail or do poorly in a course while not being expelled from the university. Acting in an unethical manner, no matter how minor the offense, is detrimental not only to your progress and the academic core values that we hold, but the university's image and its perception. Therefore, you promise, while you are a member of the KSU community, you will not participate in this type of activity. If given an option and you do choose the informal procedure, you agree that you have committed an academic integrity offense and you will meet with a faculty member. You may choose to have a student conduct and academic integrity hearing or not. The informal sanctions are agreed upon by the professor and the student. In that case, you then avoid a hearing. If you inadvertently committed an academic integrity offense, and it's your first offense, I strongly advise you to admit it, do your best to not do it again, and accept whatever penalty is given. the types of academic misconduct, and I'm only going to go through these fairly quickly. Cheating, giving or receiving assistance in anything in which assistance is not allowed. Plagiarizing, taking information or ideas, even if it's not a direct quote, from another without giving proper credit, including listing them inappropriately in the references and not citing them within the text. Submitting a paper for one class and then turning around and submitting the same or substantially similar paper in another class. If you would like to do a similar topic in 2 classes, you need approval of both professors prior to doing that. Misrepresentation or falsification of records, of your student ID card, of a parking permit, anything like that. Accessing university materials that you should not have access to. Intentionally misusing computers, for instance, to download material that violates intellectual property or to try to download software that you don't have a license for. And destroying any university material, including equipment, books, anything like that. There is a KSU policy on electronic recording and social media. Please don't record anything or post a recording of anything that someone made without explicit permission. You will have access to other classmates' voiceover PowerPoint presentations, and you should not share those unless the person gives you explicit permission to do so. You don't want someone to worry about posting something thinking you'll share something that's perhaps an initial idea or thought they had without their permission. This policy is a good idea whether you're online, hybrid, or face-to-face. So don't make public any electronically recorded information that is shared with you in this class without the written permission of the instructor and/or author of the material. This policy is certainly not intended to discourage you from recording in class. Generally, I would allow you to do so as long as it is for your own personal use. In this online class, you already have access to the videos. There's no need for you to record or share those. The ones I developed are available on YouTube, and I linked to multiple other videos and online resources. They are already available, so you don't need to share them again. If you would like to request an accommodation for a disability, you must go through KSU's Office of Disabled Student Support Services. Once you do, I will receive a letter that states the accommodations you should receive, and I will absolutely provide you with the accommodations required. You need to provide me with a copy of the documentation as soon as possible. You want to do it early in the semester, like prior to the beginning of the semester or the first day of classes, because they are not retroactive. If you give me an accommodation list in the middle of the semester, you do not get to go back and receive those accommodations on earlier assignments. Let's look at enrollment, and then we will look at withdrawal. For enrollment, only students that are in this class can participate in our D2L activities. The system will not allow me to grade your assignment if you have been unenrolled for non-payment. If you are administratively withdrawn, you need to resolve that issue quickly. I cannot assess your work if you're not enrolled. For withdrawal in this semester, summer 2016, the last day to withdraw without academic penalty is June 27th. Do not simply stop attending class or email me and assume you are withdrawn. You must go through the registrar to withdraw. You will receive a link to a questionnaire during the last 2 weeks of the semester. These course evaluations are online, easy to complete, and completely anonymous. I do not get them until after final grades are submitted. You will receive notification and instructions sent to your KSU mail when the course evaluations are ready. I implore you to complete these evaluations. I read each and every one of them, and the department chair and the dean read a number of them. I read all of the evaluations and try to look at areas where I can respond to your comments. That allows me to improve the course over time. If all students did this, all courses would gradually improve. I take the comments seriously, and I try to address them. I appreciate your response when they request that you complete the questionnaire. There are numerous other KSU resources. You can see a full list on the syllabus and even more resources from the kennesaw.edu website. Disability resources, we've already talked about that. There is an ESL study and tutorial center for those whose native language is not English. The library is accessible to all, and most things are available electronically. The Writing Center, while they are not experts in IS, they are able to help you with APA style, with organization of thoughts, and things like that to improve your writing. This is a free service, which of course means that you have already paid for it. So I encourage you to use the Writing Center whether English is your native language or not. There is a complaints and appeals page. I do ask if you have a complaint about this class or me to please let me know first, and I will do my best to address your complaint or respond to your request in a timely manner. But you are free to do this for any class and make an online complaint. There are numerous technology assistance opportunities as well. You may email or call or stop by the help desk for assistance, and there are many online resources for D2L and KSU. The Career Services Center is an excellent aid for students. They can help you find internships, full and part-time jobs. The interesting thing about Career Services is that they are available from the time you enroll in KSU until you graduate. After you graduate, they are available to you for life. So if you have a career change in your job or you're laid off, whatever it might be, you may use those services after graduation. These are all free services, which, like the other free services I've mentioned, means that you have already paid for them somewhere. To summarize what we discussed in the course overview, the syllabus is a guide. It's on D2L. It may change. If it changes, D2L will be updated accordingly. Course expectations have been outlined in the syllabus. There are grading rubrics and guidelines and sample previous submissions in D2L that will help you. Please follow the instructions and submit on time. All of the grading and assignments are described in the syllabus and available on day 1. Of course, we will follow all institutional policies and guidelines as we discussed. There are additional resources available to you, and I encourage you to consider using them. I am looking forward to this course and our interactions this semester. They will be online, but I will interact with you as much as is possible, and I think we can have a good semester. Please continue going through Module 1, looking at the introduction video if you haven't done so already. And begin to look at the other activities for Module 1, including posting on the introduction board and creating a Prezi introduction. Let's get started.